Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs, and today we talk about the presidential initiative or the Presidential Higher Council for Education initiative to empower and enforce the Egyptian youth and Egyptian students at all sectors of education during the educational process. What are the government's efforts and the latest plans for the Higher Council for Education to be able to enhance the educational process in universities and also vocational training, you may say, or other initiatives to be able to empower the future leaders to enhance their abilities and have a better vision. Today we're going to be talking about this presidential initiative and more. Very delighted to be having with us here live in the studio our dear prominent guest, Dr. Mahmoud Azmy. He's International Higher Education Consultant. Good evening, Dr. Azmy. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Let us first give a thorough assessment over the educational process in Egypt. How far have we gone? Ever since the last, let us say, 7 years.
Before I start doing that, can I say something about President Sisi initiatives? Actually, President Sisi did a great and very brave act, which it happened in end of 2017 when he decided to improve the quality of higher education in Egypt. And again now he's doing with the Supreme Council of Education and Training. The credit I give it to President Sisi is that doing such project, you will never receive a very soon results. Always takes a long time to see a result of such a very complicated issue, which is education. Therefore, President Sisi definitely is doing this not looking for political accomplishments. Actually, he's doing for the sake of Egypt, which I really salute him and I respect him totally for doing these things. This is a very, very brave action which very few people can dare to do it. Then really, God bless him.
Of course, and we're going to be discussing that in detail because this is the purpose of our episode. This very important presidential initiative that is concerned, it's sort of like a plan with the Higher Council for Education to be able to found a platform to enhance and empower the Egyptian youth.
But going back to your question, because you asked for a question for about education in Egypt since 7 years, the last 7 years. President Sisi thought of getting foreign education, foreign universities, to enhance the quality of education in Egypt. Of course, people went along with this project, which is to get a branch campus for a foreign university here in Egypt. Like an American university will make a satellite campus, whatever you call it, or a branch campus in Egypt, doing the same quality of education supposed to be. I believe this wasn't a full right thing to do. We could be refer, you know, my experience 35 years, 36 years in education in America. I'm telling you, American has a very high standard of education. And will never affiliate their universities with another universities without having the other university maintaining the same high quality of education. Then we should have enhanced making a joint program, educational program, affiliation between a foreign university and the Egyptian university. This will enhance the quality of higher education in Egypt because will force the Egyptian university to lift up their standard to reach the standard of the foreign university. A. B. When you have a branch campus and God forbid for any reason that university felt I should leave, then when they leave Egypt, what is left? A few graduates with their diploma. Did we have any advancement of having them here except giving diplomas to some of the students? No. They will never leave education behind them. And this is wrong. But when you have an affiliation with an academic institution overseas, you can do it as a dual degree. The students will earn both degrees, one from here, one from the States or from Europe or whatever. B, also will enhance the quality of higher education here and will bring us up to the international standard of education. This is exactly what happened in the past 7 years, and we have seen some of those universities actually came here. I don't want to go through their standards, the foreign universities, but the conclusion is the students here being tuition more than if they will travel and live there and pay it there. Is more expensive than the main campus.
Why is that?
Because people are greedy. I'm sorry to say so.
It's private sector.
I'm sorry?
It's private sector.
People are having this business to make money, not business for education. Not all of them, definitely, but most of them, they are getting in to make money. It's a business. But when you look for people going overseas and look at the tuition overseas and the things you gain. By the way, when you pay tuition overseas, is not only for earning a diploma from there. You earn culture, you earn democratic system, you earn educational system, which is top in the world. Then this all count also.
But given the fact that Egypt was a top-notch country when it comes to the educational process for years and years and years, and we remember that leaders of the world, like King Hussein of Jordan, the late King Hussein, and other kings and leaders and presidents of the Arab countries came over to Egypt to study in our universities. And even the military universities and other universities, some military leaders studied in our military universities. And the normal universities opened its doors to all the Arab brothers to be able to join in and have degrees from Egypt. And for years we have had that top-notch reputation. So, but in the late decades, like the past 20 years or something, or let's say 10 years, there was a little drop because of this private sector.
Not only that, I hope this...
A minor drop.
I hope this new initiative, which President Sisi is really developing, will take care of most of the problems we have. Don't forget, we have a big problem with the culture of the academicians. Not all of them, definitely, but most of them, they do have their way of providing education, their way of running the educational system, which most of the time is wrong. We, as I always say, we must know one important thing. Any professor, any teacher, any administrator is an officer, just an officer. It is nothing more. He's getting paid because we have someone who brought his or her son to me or daughter, that I can shape the quality of this human being to be perfect person in the society. It is not our responsibility to fail or pass, not our responsibility to sell books. No, our responsibility really is to develop quality education. And the quality education has a long list. It is not one item, two items. It's a long list.
It's a lot of elements and reasons.
Absolutely, a lot of elements we have to follow.
But minding you that the Egyptian professors, are you one of them, are top-notch worldwide, and they are recognized, renowned in every country. And let us take you as an example. You are a professor in the United States for years, and you are one of the renowned professors in one of the best universities, in some of the best universities, and you have been for years giving quality education. So, and there are many, many other Egyptian professors of that like. And even the renowned Egyptian professors in the government universities are the same thing. So probably the process of modernizing the education and the private sector and bringing, importing, foreigner professors because some people would need the foreigner professor to teach to their kids and to the students and all that. Probably he's not qualified enough just because that he is a foreigner, and that's why they import him. That's what caused the problem. Do you agree or no?
I do agree, and let me just identify one important thing. You are absolutely right. We have in Egypt top-notch professors, but there are some of the academicians that are not the majority. And the majority are following a system which, as I told you, doesn't work as the academician is supposed to be. Therefore, those top-notch are taking a side. You don't want to fight it with the others. And this happened with me, you know, in several cases. One, because I'm glad that you brought this issue, because I am requesting President Sisi to add to this Supreme Council of Higher Education and Training some of those foreigners. You know that we have very, very, not even excellent, whatever you can say about quality of academicians in the United States and in Europe, in England especially, are Egyptian immigrants. Do you know that Columbia University, which is of course one of the top 10 in the United States, the new president is an Egyptian. So
exactly.
Yes, she's coming. She's going to take over from July. So don't you think, because we are voluntarily would love to help Egypt, we are not going to charge anything to serve, to pay back our the things which we earn from Egypt. We owe Egypt. Whatever we owe Egypt, we'd like to pay it back. Then I prefer, and I would love President Sisi, instead of bringing universities from overseas to come here and leave when they would like to leave, bring your own citizen who really has accomplished a high status in America or in by the way, I'm repeating America because the UNESCO indicated that the best education before university is in Europe, and the best education in university level is USA.
Exactly. But can I get in here?
Sure.
It is not President Sisi actually who is importing the foreigner professors or deans of universities or chairmen of universities. It is, or chairman of universities, excuse me. It is the private sector, the business people who are importing the European image in order to sell for the parents of the students. But President Sisi, as a reaction, have made it to stand up to these commercial means, and is taking this initiative through the Higher Council and through people like you, who is giving their help and volunteering to be a council for universities, to be able to stand up to these challenges and handle the matter. And that's why he called for this initiative.
So far, I didn't see too many foreigners coming to teach in Egypt, and this also goes Two, the reason of saving money. Because when he gets a teacher from overseas, we will not only pay a salary, but pay a lot of things accumulated with the salary, which makes a lot of expense.
And you charge the parents.
And absolutely, you know,
With high tuitions, exactly.
I'm really shocked for amount of tuitions parents are paying.
They don't care because
one of the universities, as I heard, is over 200,000.
Exactly.
pounds.
We're not going to be talking numbers and
Yes.
not talking about specific universities, but this is exactly the reason for this initiative that was launched by His Excellency, the Head of State President Abdel Fattah.
That's what I'm
stand
saying.
up to these challenges.
I'm saying, first, this is the best thing happen to Egypt, these initiatives. And at least they will start with setting policy, educational policy. We don't have an educational policy in Egypt, by the way. Every minister come, set his own policies, which is not right. You have to have one system, one policy, and will go all the way through. Any new minister will come, will make sure to run it, not to change it or to get a new one. Then the most important thing to get this one, the accreditation agency in Egypt, which is not, I mean, it's actually need improvement. How can you improve it with people from the local, and you are looking for following an American system, which is called our system? At least bring those from America. I'm not asking to bring an American non-Egyptians. No, bring American Egyptians. And we would love, everyone would love, honestly, we are behind President Sisi in this initiative in any way we can. By the way, when President Sisi decided to make initiative for improving the higher education in 2017, right away I thought of an educational project which I made, one which is 14 points. One of them, I got a grant money, or a grant actually project from one of the top universities to build the online system in Egypt to teaching. They didn't take it, that's a different issue, but I brought this one, it's totally for free. And now we are willing to help. I saw last, you know, I'm the president of the Egyptian American Council, and one of our bylaws articles is to help Egypt overseas in any way we can. I witnessed a meeting, actually, I read it in the newspaper, that was between the President Sisi and the Foreign Minister of Angola. And I looked at Angola, what Angola needs, because President Sisi said we'll help Angola any way we can, he told the Foreign Minister. I found they need education. Right away, I prepared the project. I sent it to the minister, to the ambassador. I said, on behalf of Egypt, we voluntarily would like to do that. And now I found that President Sisi said he would like to help all African countries. And we are behind him in these things. We are willing to do, and we will do, in order to. Nobody knows about us. Nobody knows, because we do it for our own motherland, for our country, and would love to help with these things. Inshallah.
Inshallah, Hafid. As a president for the Egyptian American Council, talk to us about the successful experiences that you had and that you would like to deliver to Egypt.
Good experience or bad experience?
The successful ones. Of course, we learn from the bad experiences also. We wouldn't be better without bad
I tell you one thing.
experiences.
I tell you one thing. Unfortunately, which I would like also to stress, that this new council, I insist that President Sisi will be the chairman. Must. Because we bring projects for Egypt, but it will go between offices and it will die. And yes. But if President Sisi on top of it and they hear about it, you know, the project we prepared as the Egyptian American Council from 14 points, we send it directly to President Sisi. It didn't go to him, to his office, who sent it to the Minister of Higher Education. That was in 2018, and we are still waiting till now.
Hopefully, inshallah, because not only that he is as a president, not talking about him as his title as a president, but also because he is a person of precision and a person who executes the tasks in very little time. He's one of the most successful presidents that ever came to.
He is sincere.
Right. And he's sincere. He's
very
honest
sincere,
with each
and is not looking for anything. Looking
exactly, and that's why he
sincerely
succeeds.
looking to help Egypt. And when you do that, you really get a result. And by the way, he also doesn't kid around. You work or goodbye. Finish.
Exactly.
Which is very good. We are not making something to just to print in our business card. I'm a member of the Supreme Council of Education. No. Show me the work. Do the work. And how can you give work and you don't have the knowledge for this work? So we better blend Egyptian educators with Egyptian immigrant educators and do something good. And this is extremely important. And I'm really, from here, I hope that President Sisi will listen to this program, because I really would love him to go strongly in this initiative. It's a beautiful one. You mentioned that a lot of big names came to study in Egypt. And you said universities. No, even for schools. King Hussein studied in Egypt in his high school. Okay? God bless his soul. So, Egypt, even though we don't have a high rank in the top 500 universities in the world, but we still, the entire Middle East, look at us as the hub of education.
Of course. But can I say something here?
Sure.
Though that we do not rank among the highest 5 universities, but our scientists and our professors are ranking on top scientists like Dr. Zuwaid, like other doctors for severe chronic disease worldwide in England, our engineers in Germany, our people in Japan. I mean, many professions, Egyptian, I mean, in all spheres, have registered as top-notch worldwide.
Yeah, but that's individual. That's individual. You know why?
They graduated from Egyptian universities.
I'm sorry?
They graduated from Egyptian universities.
I graduate from Egyptian universities.
Exactly, and you are another example also.
Okay, but what I'm saying, where are we? We are not here.
It's because of the private sector and the trade, and you just mentioned it, and that's why this initiative came to light.
I tell you one thing, you know why we are not in, actually Cairo University was 482 or 484 among 500, that was last year. This year went back after 500. You know why we don't have universities top 500? Because we don't have a good research projects, which is the most important thing. I have an idea. I would like to present it to the Egyptian government.
Please.
A lot of teachers always take sabbaticals, and their sabbaticals is to do projects. Why we don't invite them to come to Egypt to do their projects along with one of our universities? We have to promote the idea, not even for the Egyptians only immigrants, but for the other foreigners also to come over. We will sponsor them, we'll give them accommodation. By the way, when you are in sabbaticals, you are not supposed to charge any money from anywhere, because you are getting money from your university. So he is coming with his project, everything, give him an accommodation. And his project will be going along with one of our universities. So what else do you want?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is why Egypt have imported back its own sons and treasures like you to be able to offer their consultancy to the Supreme Council of Education and probably propose some new ideas and stuff like that. And we're very hopeful because President El-Sisi have opened the gate for people like you and other Egyptian specialists of a very good experience and background to be able to come and find a way to sort out the problems.
I tell you one thing for whatever you said now. President Sisi really is looking forward to bring all of us to Egypt to build it up with him, to help in building Egypt with him. A few years ago, when they started those new universities, Al Alamein and Galala, etc., the former Minister of Higher Education, he made a good initiative. He made a meeting, virtual meeting. We were 70 faculty members from the states, top, from United States. And he brought the 5 or the 4 upcoming presidents for these universities. And they give, and we spoke, and they asked us, and they give us also an application to fill out. Who would like to come to teach for a year, or a semester, or a week, or whatever? And we all filled out these things. That was a smart idea, because none of us was going to come and look for a salary like America, but we would love to do something for Egypt, definitely. We felt, and actually, to be honest with you, I received one email from Al Alamein, but not from the president, not from vice president. A young lady there, she wrote and she said, I'm writing on behalf of the president and vice president. No problem. Then I said, okay, I'm willing, and here is my proposals. Not only me, but the others. None of us received any reply from any of the universities. What do you think?
And why? How did you justify
We don't know, and we don't want to ask. We don't want to ask. If a president of a university think he is above us, we'll tell him, no, sorry, we are not going to deal with you. You have to talk to us, deal with us. We are not. You give us an application, we're very glad, very happy to fill out the application. But if we are happy to fill out the application, at least respond to us. Say thank you. No, we don't want you. We'll never have any problem with that. But that whatever President Sisi doesn't know, and that's why I'm insisting that President Sisi must be on top of the Supreme Council of Education. At least he will hear and he will question. President Sisi never let anything go by. Always question everything. Why, when, why it happened, always.
He's working honestly. So going back to our topic and this initiative by the president, as usually is initiating the projects, and he is planning it, and he is setting the goals by himself and giving it as a gift for the specialist to be able to execute it. So far, how do you assess the initiative, and how exactly far is it moving?
I am not part of it so far. I don't know exactly what they are doing and how far they went through, but it is in general an excellent initiative if it is done right, which I recommend also. They should have bylaws to set and items to follow in order to apply this system, and this will never happen until you get those experts to do it. Let us put it a different way. If we have the expert, we do have, definitely, but maybe nobody reached them. If we have those experts really to do the greatest job in the world, then why our educational standard is backward and we are behind? Just think of it. Then definitely something is missing. Know-how is the knowledge. The educational system actually, see, the education is 3 pillars. A, curriculum, which is extremely important, and we have to develop it. We have to do the right thing. I always said, communication as a subject is taught in every school in the United States. In America, only in Egypt, only taught in the school of mass communication. Although people do nothing the entire day but communicating with each other, then how come we don't have this subject as mandatory in our curriculum?
And communication means awareness also, because awareness requires communication.
You know that leadership is a part of the. You cannot teach leadership unless you teach communication. You cannot teach negotiation unless you teach communication. You cannot teach conflicts, how to resolve conflicts. The communication, interpersonal communication, is the foundation. We must have it, and then we can go further. This is one pillar. The second pillar is the teacher. Not everyone who just got a bachelor degree from even top university should be allowed to go and teach.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should have those people take further study, further education. In America, they give them 2 years more, like master. And after that, they get license. And that's whatever one of the items in the project I submitted in 2018. You have to have a license. Teacher must go through that license is questions, interviews done by few people. And few, yes, of course, if I can tell you, educators, psychologists, security departments, a lot of things, not enough.
Exactly, this is what we're saying, because the important professors from different Western countries, they're not even fully educated, and they do not have those licenses. The only license that they have is that their nationality, as native speakers, or as become only the fact that they are Europeans. While on the other side, Egyptians work so hard as professionals and as professors to be able to earn the license. And this is why, again, the need for this initiative and for regulations.
Not only that, when you give me your son, or you give your son to a school, actually you leave him in the school.
I trust the school.
For different teachers, and we are the role model for him. So I play with his head, totally. Okay? If I am coming from a wrong background, regardless, political or religious or, I will reflect this wrong background on the children. And you have seen during our revolution, the 25th of January revolution, after that, most of the troublemakers, most of the one who took the revolution wrong way, are from one specific university. And why? Because of their teacher. And that's what we should work on it. License. Teachers license, and not anything, not to develop license. We have to look for those countries who had this system. See what did they do, what kind of license they have, and take from it whatever suits us, and forget about the others. The third pillar is the school. The school is the second home to the children. They supposed to first not only give them a material to study, no, they build their personality, make a beautiful character of this kid, bring their talent out, train them to go further, far from education, to do further things to help them in their life, to see exactly their way of thinking. Unfortunately, we followed the British system for a long time, which is a spoon-fed system. But American system is critical thinking.
It's a little bit more open, exactly.
Not only that,
And less pressure.
when I have a student in my school, I don't concentrate only on the book. No.
You stimulate others.
When the students graduate with the knowledge of my books and my colleague's
Exactly.
book, he will be looking through window this side. But
Exactly.
if I open his mind and take him to the world, then the window will be far for
Exactly.
him. When he sit down in any office, he able to think and make a decision. But when you programmed him to memorize this book, he will never know anything but whatever the book says.
Exactly. On that note, unfortunately, Dr. Azmy, we are out of time. We still have a lot to discuss on a promise from you
Yes, inshallah.
to honor us with another visit and come and share your knowledge, very precious knowledge with us here in Windows and on current affairs. Dr. Mahmoud Azmy, our international higher education consultant, I'd like to thank you so much. It was a great honor having you tonight.
I'm privileged, of course, to be here, especially to discuss these initiatives, and I would love to have more time and more time and more time, because a lot to be discussed for this initiative, but it's bad luck. Enough time today.
Hopefully, inshallah. We can have more
Inshallah.
time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's our pleasure. And I guess this would bring us to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.